Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Little Reader's House. I'm the Little Reader, and you're in my house, and boy, am I glad to have you. Today's reading is filled with the most transformative, divine, synchronistic, and heavy energy. If you've been drawn to this reading, whether you're part of my Serpentine Crew, my Unakite Crew, or my Rose Quartz Crew, there's something that we all have in common as a collective here today, which is that the transformational energy of death and rebirth? I just made up a new word. Rebirth is intense. So if you're feeling that the way that I am, then death and transformation has a message for you. And we are going to discover what that message is, say a little prayer to release any lingering karma, and to bring in your transformation and your rebirth. And maybe we'll even call it reverse again, because that word is also appearing. Reverse, like undoing something, going backwards, even though time as we know it is not linear. Perhaps we could say it's like the spin of the wheel in our Wheel of Fortune card. In any case, I'm delighted to see what messages come through today. So if you are also ready, feeling it, and excited about what death could tell us and what transformation lies right here and now, not even up ahead, then let's talk about our crews. Today we have our beautiful Serpentine Crew, a gorgeous stone of transformation in and of itself, associated with the serpent, intuitively. You may have even recognized that, about shedding old layers and becoming new. Then we have this beautiful Unakite Crew, and here is heart chakra all over the place with both pink and green, supporting our yin and yang elements, our so-called masculine and feminine elements within the heart. And then we have this beautiful rose quartz, double terminated point. A story behind this rose quartz that I will share, well, one day. Maybe even today. So, take a look at which card and crew, based on the energy of these crystals you're drawn to, and then drop down to that description box, make your selection, and I will see you there, beautiful soul. Hello, my beautiful Serpentine Crew, and welcome to your reading on the message that death and transformation has for you. What cords are being cut? What are we letting go of? What is dying and what is being reborn? I was contemplating, if you peeked at the intro, why this word reverse keeps coming. Why does this word reverse come almost as a synonym of rebirth? I understand that the two words sound similar, but somehow they're arising together. And then I started humming the theme from Back to the Future, and I realized that in a way, death does take us back to the future. It takes us to a point of transformation, growth, and newness, but because all things are whole and circular, and time is not linear, we may be revisiting something that a wholeness that we've experienced before. So if that message means anything to you, please drop it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear how it resonates. This energy that we're working with is mighty. So let's use our 4 diagnostic tools and see where you are right now and what message death has for you. So starting with this beautiful mushroom oracle, the Mushroom Spirit Oracle, we're going to pull a card to get a feel for where you are and what message death has for you. Then we're going to use our Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle and pull a card. And then we're using the Witchy Tarot, which I believe we are, yes, we are accepting reversals. And we're just pulling out a single card from this deck to get some insights on energies. Oh, actually, I said single card and 2 wanted to come out. So once again, little reader, you know nothing, you're a student. That's been my own personal journey lately. And then finally, for our diagnostic section of this reading, we're also using the Mushroom Hunter's Tarot. Now, why all the mushrooms? Why the little sneaky mushrooms in the corner too with Moldavite, if you spotted that with your keen eye? Because mushrooms have a close association in my mind and spirit with death and transformation and rebirth. And I guess we're going to say reverse too. This is a new synonym. So let's start by looking at this gorgeous death card that you selected, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. This card comes from, I believe it's called the Sirius, Sirius Tarot. And it is absolutely stunning. Very colorful, very spiritual. We've got the image of a skeleton here with wings, another skull there, white roses, feathers, and petals all combined to create this absolutely ethereal, beautiful. Let's just say if this angel of death visited me, I'd be like, take me, baby, because you've got this magnificent, elegant, colorful, radiant, natural feeling. So that was your selection, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. Let's see what energies you're in and what energies death is working with for you. So first we've got the Verdigris Agaric, which is impress. Amazing. Number 31, which reduces to 4. This could be about foundations. This could be about establishing something meaningful. This could be about finances. Then we've got Abracadabra, connect. This card in the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle deck is all about recognizing your own ability to manifest, to create. And there is a ritual associated with it about focusing on what you desire, putting it into your heart space, and then saying abracadabra and believing that you have just cast a spell of sorts. It doesn't necessarily have to be magical if you're not into that magical sort of ritual. But the idea is that the words abracadabra have the power to manifest and to create. Then we have the 5 of Wands upright. So the key words here are conflict, fighting, arguments, rows, disagreements, and no is the energy of this card. But we also got a second card. We've got the Hanged Man. This is the Hanged Man upright, also with the word no. Feeling trapped, confused, self-limiting, uncertain, lack of direction. And then finally, from our Mushroom Hunter's Tarot, we have the World in Reverse. Oh, this is powerful, powerful energy, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. Look how cute you are, by the way. I'm getting the image of Yoshi from Mario when I hold your stone. And I gotta say, Yoshi's one of my favorite characters. Always play Yoshi on Super Smash. So, here's what I'm sensing for you, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. What death is knocking on your door to bring right now is the end of a cycle. And you've got 1 foot on one side of the threshold and 1 foot on the other side. So here, with this desire to impress and be impressed and bloom, I sense that you, my beautiful Serpentine Crew, are at this stage in your life where you're ready to step into your power, step into your next iteration. You know very well that you've transformed. You've let go of so much. You're dancing around in this new space and this new place. And as you do so, you're ready to be seen, you're ready to be felt, acknowledged, loved, needed, and validated for all that you have to offer, which, can we just pause for a moment and say, it's so much. What you have to offer, my beautiful Serpentine Crew, your laughter, your humor, your lightness, your love and affection, the way you flit around in a space. I sense air energy coming in here, a playfulness. When I see Yoshi in my mind's eye, I know that there's some kind of love of games, whether that's board games or just good banter, intellectual conversations. Do you know how worthy of love you are? Above all, how you deserve more love and not less? Just gotta slide that in there, because it's imperative to understand that you have done so much, are doing so much, and are exactly where you're supposed to be. So thank you for all you bring. Now, you're ready to feel that. You are saying to Spirit, okay, Spirit, I've gone through the inner battles. I've been stationed in place like you've wanted me to be. And I've been right on the verge. This World card is all about the end of a cycle. I've been right on the verge of the end of this cycle for what feels like forever. So can I just step through the door now? Can I just step through the door? And the spirit of death and transformation and rebirth and reverse is saying, yes, you absolutely can, beautiful Serpentine Crew. You can step through the door. We need you to understand your magic and connect to that, as we see that in this card here. Now here it's quite literally plant medicine. This would be the cannabis leaf here, which is being uncorked for use to connect to the divine, but it doesn't have to be plant medicine. That's not your thing. Although if it is your thing, we do see mushrooms and weed. But there's no encouragement for drug use here outside of what you choose to do, both intuitively and spiritually and intellectually and legally on your own. The encouragement that Spirit's given here instead is, much like plant medicine does, create your own paradigm shift within by recognizing your own magic. The energy of death and transformation, rebirth and reverse, wants you to sip on your own Kool-Aid, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. Sip on your own Kool-Aid. Now let's see what else your tarot has to say using the beautiful, magical Sirius Tarot. Let's see what other messages. What's coming? What you can expect from this transformational moment where you're just about to end this cycle. You're just about to have it all, have the world. So what is death doing here? Spirit, show us. Spirit of death even, and transformation. Show us, what are you doing with my Serpentine Crew right now? With that hangman, we can see you've been patient. You've been waiting. And one more. You've been patient and you've been waiting because you know, you've known for a while you're on the verge. On the verge, beautiful Serpentine Crew. That is, I'm on the edge of glory. That's little Lady Gaga for you. And I'm hanging on a moment of truth. Is that what it is? A moment of truth? Ooh, could that be? I don't even know if that's the correct lyric, but hey, that could be something. Let's see. We've got the Knight of Swords. Oh my goodness, if there was a bigger truth teller, it'd probably be the King of Swords. But the Knight of Swords is very close. In the entire tarot, the Knight of Swords, and we see it represented so beautifully and so magically here, is a truth-telling warrior. And the thing about the Knight is he doesn't always get it perfect. And he doesn't always have it all sorted out. He doesn't necessarily premeditate it. He kind of spits it. He spits it out. Maybe not in the most tactful way, but it comes out. And if we're using Lady Gaga to understand that a moment of truth is going to be part of this transformation, and then we have the Knight of Swords pop up, what I encourage you to think about, my beautiful Serpentine Crew, is what is your truth right now? What is it? What does it feel like to be you? What does it sound like to be you? What is it think like to be you. If you took a moment to journal and just tell the truth, starting with your 5 senses, the truth about how you experience the world, the truth about how you feel in your body, then we branch out, the truth about how each one of your friends and family members feels to you. How do you feel to you? How does your soul feel to you? How does your inner innate magic feel to you? Death, rebirth, and transformation and reverse is saying, let me take you back to a time, maybe even from a past life, when you were the most powerful truth teller, beginning with yourself. Then we've got the 4 of Wands. Oh my goodness. Okay, this 4 of Wands is another stunning, colorful card. And I know that this is not a skull that we see here. I'm trying to really help out my camera so that it can pick up the glory of this card, but it's a little tricky because our lighting is so low. It's not a skull, but it almost is. It almost looks like one to me. And then we've got these beautiful feathers. 4 of Wands is triumphant. We know that by telling your truth and then living in your truth and then acting in your truth, because our nights are about action, you step your other foot over the threshold here. Then our Ace of Swords. Okay, so once again, speaking. We've got swords and swords, and these two are connected to one another. Every single card of this deck is pure art. Another skull. So when Spirit chose this deck, as they always do, knowing that my intention was to connect to the heavy death energy of today, they knew what they were up to with all these skulls. And there's a skull inside of all of us. Speaking of the truth, skulls are always used around Halloween and Samhain and these times when we celebrate death. But inside every living being that has a bone structure is a skull. So a great reminder from the spirit of death that within life, death is living. And ultimately everything will be exposed. A quote comes to mind, although not in its complete form. Something to the effect of, these 3 things will always be revealed or cannot be hidden for long. And I don't know what the first 2 are, but I know the last one is truth. I'll find the quote and place it in the description box. And here we see an emphasis on truth, that your success and your vitality and your triumph, my beautiful Serpentine Crew, is coming from embodying the truth. And I'm seeing, because I see water and blue here, the truth of your feelings is very important. And perhaps you've been building and growing so much that you are impressed. Others are impressed by you. You want to be validated and recognized for that, as you so very well should be. You deserve so much love, validation, and applause and celebration. But there's just that one more thing. That one more thing that's going to complete the puzzle. You probably call yourself a magical person with this abracadabra. And I suspect your manifesting powers are top-notch. There's a conflict now, though, and you're wondering, why is my magic feeling a little bit subdued? I know I'm coming to the end of this cycle. And it's because of that inner conflict with this truth. This truth that needs to come out. We're going to get a clue about what that truth is, but let's keep going. Okay, well, I think our clue might be right here. Ace of Cups and Knight of Wands. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Let's peek the Ace of Cups. Gorgeous. I would drink out of this cup. Look at that. It's pure magic coming out of this. Just like a smoky, this almost looks like a cocktail. Put it in my hand. The cocktail of love, I'm hearing. Ooh, Does somebody have feelings for somebody? My beautiful Serpentine Crew? You gotta let me know. And then the Knight of Wands, taking action. And I see that there are 2 knights here. Look at this beauty. My goodness. See, as a individual who loves colors, little reader over here is like a color-loving soul. I want to eat this deck. Just like consume it. Just make it one with my being. Anyway, I digress. Oh, but I so don't. Making it one with my being, integrating. So here's a little story time. There's a truth that you need to tell. First, you need to come to terms with it yourself. First, you need to understand what that truth is for you. If you're looking at this beautiful spread and all the colors and feeling all the energies and feeling so alive and resonating with the idea that you're about to do something huge, but don't know what that is, then you're absolutely right, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. There's one little truth that hasn't been looked at yet. Maybe it's big. And I'm hearing that journaling would be a great way to realize this. It already came up once, but I'm circling back to that because I see you with a pen and paper, or however you prefer to journal. It could be dictation, could be into a voice memo. Verbal journaling is quite a thrill. If you've never tried it, I recommend it. And you're going to start talking about what it feels like to be you and really get into your feelings. And if you want to illuminate this truth, Spirit tells me that you're going to find it when you start describing how the people in your life make you feel and how you make them feel. And wherever there are gaps and wherever there's discomfort and wherever there's resistance and wherever there's the desire for avoidance and turning around and backing out, we're going to go deeper still. Deeper still, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. Because as you initiate this triumphant moment of looking at yourself, speaking your truth to yourself, and going through these feelings, as we see in the Ace of Cups, you're putting your other foot through the threshold because you're not hiding anymore. You're not focused on being perceived a certain way. You're connecting to your own internal magic, which is, if it felt like it's ebbing or you haven't had it, it's that inner conflict piece. You haven't had all of your strength recently. It's because it's time to pull all those pieces back into yourself. And this exercise is going to help you pull all those pieces back into yourself. Because here's the rub, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. The rub is that this is an emotional transformation. And the truth of your emotions, when you recognize them, validate them, and honor them, is going to be what sets you free. This Knight energy coming in twice. Once in the truth-telling, and then once in the action-taking with our wands. Our wands are close to spirit. Our wands are fire. Our wands are that impressive energy that you've already stepped into. Our wands are confidence. Our wands are summer. As you step into the truth of you, the truth of your feelings, and then if you must take action and have a conversation with somebody or multiple people, plural, or revisit how the people in your life rank as far as their priority based on how you feel about them, you're gonna step into that Knight of Wands energy, which empowers you all the way out of this cycle into the next one. Because as we know, life is a series of cycles. And once this one's closed, you level up to this more powerful state where you have complete command of the truth of your emotions and the truth of you. That is what death is trying to teach you here. That is what rebirth and reverse and transformation is trying to teach you here. And not trying, it's succeeding. because you are such a wonderful student. My beautiful Serpentine crew, you are a student of transformation. You chose Serpentine. All about transformation, all about rebirth. So you're like, okay, here we go again. But you'll do what it takes to level up. You will do what it takes. I can feel it. I'm feeling moved to draw a few more cards for you. And I want to know what they are. Oh, a helpful guidance in finding out what this truth could be. What this truth is of your feelings. Ooh, that the spirit of death and transformation would like you to acknowledge. Still go into that journaling and exploration exercise. But here's some more insight. 8 of Cups. King of Pentacles. Wow. 9 of Wands. And Judgment. Ooh, this is powerful. Absolutely powerful energy. So for our 8 of Cups, leaving behind emotional pain, and paired with our King of Pentacles, I always think of King of Pentacles as the ultimate self-worth, knowing that you are enough. If you've been feeling insecure or unworthy because of how someone else has treated you, or how you've even treated yourself, maybe you've built a life with the intention of impressing, but you're realizing that there's a little bit of a lack of emotional satisfaction in that right now. It's time to walk away from a feeling of not having enough, not being enough, and walk into this abundance of knowing, my beautiful Serpentine crew, that you have so much to offer, so much to offer. And the people and places and things that you want to walk in the direction of are those individuals who recognize that, who see that. You may be in the habit of sometimes pushing people away who seem to see you a little too deeply. Like, excuse me, can you just look away? Look away, because I don't want you to see this. Particularly those who see you when you're feeling insecure, or see you when you're feeling a little on the weaker side, or when you're feeling like your energy is low. It's time to walk away from walking away. What in the paradox, Spirit? Walk away from walking away. Holy moly. Someone write that down, assistant. My assistant is just myself, so she'll watch this back and write that down later. But walk away from walking away. And instead, we've got the King of Pentacles walking toward this majestic symbol, which we're going to call like ultimate self-worthiness. Walking toward, yes, his back is to us, but he is walking toward this, once again with the magical, and look at that, with the abracadabra. Okay, I understand this is not a cannabis leaf. Oh, I'm getting excited. Okay, I understand that's not a cannabis leaf, but if you see these two things together, if we could just zoom in here and look at this area, you will see what I see, which is this king, which is you, my beautiful Serpentine crew, irrespective of how you identify, you are, as of this moment in time, the ultimate royalty. Well, as of all moments. Just love you. Walking toward your own magic. That is what you're doing. You're walking toward your own magic, and in that, recognizing you are worthy of everything, can do everything, are worthy of, with this 8 of Cups, feeling things and following your feelings. How much have you done to impress? How much have you done to impress, my beautiful Serpentine crew? And now with this 9 of Wands here, I feel like Spirit is saying you've been in a 10 of Wands for so long. Look at this beautiful 9 of Wands with a crystal, like flowers and a crystal growing from it. It's the most beautiful poetic 9 of Wands I've ever seen. But I feel like you've been at a 10 of Wands for so long, and Spirit is saying, no. Now it's time to self-protect, get into yourself, understand your power, understand the potential you have to do all things, no longer carry so much of the expectations of others, release the inner conflict. We have that match with the conflict card here, and I suspect this conflict is almost completely internal. It may not even be fully conscious. It's just like this burden you've been carrying for so long, which spirit and death and transformation and rebirth and reverse are just asking you to drop. And the judgment here, mixed with our Hanged Man, is saying you're stepping out of this inaction. The Hanged Man may have been started by spirit. There was some circumstance that you didn't see coming, or a choice that you made to end something. And then there was like this perpetual moment of immobility, but also stagnation and healing. And now you're going to step out of that by taking this directed action with this Judgment card. And here I see multiple figures in a sort of throne room surrounded by these massive crystals. And some regal character, probably this King of Pentacles, most definitely this King of Pentacles, is coming to a judgment about something, deciding to move towards something with this Knight of Wands here, and not overthinking it. It's not this crazy... No, excuse me, it's crazy. It's not a... It's no more Hanged Man energy. It's not waiting to see and then waiting for spirit to put it in your lap. No, Serpentine Crew, this time you're like, okay, I've reflected on my feelings. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I'm ready for. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Got no idea how that's going to go. And typically I'm a person who likes to know that. But with the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands, we are declaring our truth, the truth of our emotions and feelings, and moving in that direction, moving toward our magic, and trusting that all of the magic is going to come flowing back into our life. And that is going to close this cycle out. Death will flutter away with a smile on their face, knowing that their student has learned a beautiful lesson. And then you'll begin the new cycle. Magical it will be, my beautiful Serpentine Crew. So let's close out with a prayer for you, because you are doing the work. And Dr. Nicole LaPerla released a book. A psychologist, goes by the Holistic Psychologist on Instagram, I believe, released a book called How to Do the Work. I have not read it, but I do love the title. And I feel like you, my beautiful Serpentine Crew, could write the same book based on the amount of introspection and reflection that you've been doing lately. So Spirit would like to applaud you for that, and so would I. The level of respect that I have for you is English won't allow it, and my Spanish is not so great enough to allow it either. So know that I'm spiritually thanking you. So, our prayer. Dearest Spirit, and all the witnesses that are present with us today, thousands of spiritual beings, angelic beings, guides and ancestors coming from every corner of the universe, powerful witnesses who are here to bolster and boost the impact of this moment and the quantum shift of this moment. First, I want to thank you so much, all beings in the entire universe at large, for my beautiful Serpentine Crew, because what they bring to this world it really, having a sob fest would be the best way to convey it, but in the interest of keeping this efficient, I will save the crying for later, off camera. Please surround my Serpentine Crew with the absolute love and abundance of validation and connection that they desire and deserve. May their heart be touched by so many people from this moment forward who show themselves as eager to help and eager to guide. And may my Serpentine crew learn to trust them again and trust themselves again, to choose the right emotional connections that support them and sustain them. May my Serpentine crew identify their emotional truth. And when they do, step into that truth with both feet, boldly and proudly, and proclaim it to those whom it is relevant, but most of all, proclaim it to themselves. And understand and say with a triumphant cheer, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to bask in my own magic and truly feel it. May their heart center and emotional body be turned all the way up to infinity. And may they, for perhaps the first time in a long time, or if we are reversing, as only Spirit knows how to do through this so-called linear timeline, may they be taken back to a feeling of childlike bliss in which they trusted themselves and others unconditionally and were rewarded through that trust. May their truth surround them, heal them, and inspire them as they step into this next part of their journey. And may they be unconditionally loved forever. The end of the prayer. You got to mix it up, you know? Sometimes you hit it with the amen. Sometimes you hit it with the end of the prayer. My beautiful Serpentine crew, it has been an absolute blast being with you today. Your reading has got me feeling all kinds of feels, as I believe you too will be feeling, if not right now, very, very soon, in the best way. It's like a gift to be with you on this journey, and I'm squeezing you and loving you so hard. If you liked the reading, please like. If you want a key to the Little Reader's house so you can come in anytime, please subscribe. And if you'd like me to ding you and hit your doorbell when it's time to tune into a new spiritual transmission, hit the bell notification. Comments are the Little Reader's favorite thing ever. So if you can drop one down below, I read every single one. I'm starting to get to the point where it's a little difficult to respond to every single one, but it's still my objective, Serpentine crew. So you leave it and I might just get to respond to it. And then very lastly, private readings are available at this moment in time. And there is a link in the description to that if you're looking to go even deeper, deeper, and deeper. But until we meet again, my beautiful Serpentine crew, I'm sending you all the love I got. May it heal you, sustain you, inspire you, and keep you forever and ever. And with that, bye for now. Hello, my beautiful Unakite crew, and welcome to your reading about a message from the spirit of death, transformation, and rebirth. And as it slipped out a little while ago, reverse, which is an interesting concept I don't fully intellectually understand, but as it continues to resurface, as your friendly channeler, I will pop it in, and perhaps it'll come to mean something to you that has meaning and significance. You've selected this beautiful death rebirth card from the Tarot of Oneness, and immediately with the snake on it, I'm feeling that there's a healer component to you that is incredibly strong. Whether it's self-healing, that may be what it is right now, my beautiful Unakite crew, or the healing of others, or maybe you work in a service industry in which customer service or directly healing, like nursing or doctoring, being a doctor, or a psychologist, therapist, coach, writer, artist, something to that effect. I feel many creatives in this crew, and I'm so very excited to have you. So I'm going to plop you down right over here, and we're going to get our diagnostics set up by taking a couple of cards from a few oracle and, oh, it's always the one right off the top. Actually, two. Hey, look, and these match so beautifully. That just really hit me all of a sudden. Yeah. You know, this is interesting. Segue, because I placed here these two mushrooms and two pieces of moldavite, and the moldavite color looks very much like this color. And these cards, I believe it's the same breed or type of mushroom there. And I love a little aesthetic synchronicity. But anyway, diagnostic tools, we're getting an energy check, a sense of where you are, what it is that death, rebirth, and transformation is teaching you right now. Ooh, for this one, we want to go middle of the, and we want to go top of the deck. I try to be like so romantic with these selections and go deep. And sometimes Spirit says, little reader, it's not that serious. You don't have to go so deep all the time. And yeah, that's my personal struggle. Next, we'll look at this beautiful tarot deck, which is the, I think, Witch's Beginner Tarot, I believe is what it's called. And we'll take right off the top these two. Ooh, you're being blessed with extra diagnostic cards. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. And then we're taking from the Mushroom Hunter's Tarot. Yes. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. No way. Those didn't want to come out. And I also couldn't believe. So let's make room for the whole family. I know there's a way to do it. There's always a way where there's a will. How are you doing, my beautiful Unakite crew? I'm sending you so much love. You deserve it above all. Just more and more love. Never less. Just more. More. Okay, are we all fitting in here? We've got a full house. So many energies bubbling out. So let's explore. So first we have substance with our king oyster mushroom. And we have fairy ink cap, subtlety. Do not. It's 11 and 22. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm already a huge fan of the number 11, as you may have noticed. But we got 11 here and 22 here. Not only is this doubled, but the fact that we see these two master numbers, which are not meant to be reduced typically in numerology when we have a double number like this. No wonder so much is happening, because so much is happening for you. Oh, equalizer, highest self. Oh my goodness. And then we've got Mabudi with the key. Ooh, interesting. What do you have the key? So many keys. What is your story, my beautiful Unakite crew? What is your story? The Tower upright? Really? And the King of Pentacles in reverse. Whoa, King of Pentacles was significant with my Serpentine Crew 1 crew ago. Maybe you're coming from there, which I totally understand. Or maybe you're going to visit. I also say king here as well. King oyster. Collective energy, though. I mentioned in the intro, it's heavy right now. It is royal. Something is going on big in the ethers. We've got the 10 of Swords. We've got the 7 of Wands. We've got the Empress. 10 of Wands. And the Fool in reverse. Just breathe, little reader. Just breathe. You too, my beautiful Unakite crew. Let's do a little breathing, you and I. Here we go. Take a deep breath in from the belly. First, empty out your lungs. And then deep belly breath in. And hold it for 3 seconds and then sigh it out audibly. Let's do that 2 more times. Hold it and sigh it out. Wow, last one. Hold it and sigh it out. Did I say 2 more times or 3 more times? 1 more just for yucks. Deep breath in. Feel the belly expand. Hold it at the top and then sigh it out. All right. Lots of breathing here because the amount of energy that you're holding in your aura is like, woo! Because just our energy check is a full house. And when I say a full house, I mentioned creatives earlier. Maybe you got a show tonight. Are you entertaining? Can I come? Shoot me a ticket. Love to see. You have people watching. That much is for sure. And they are expecting something great from you, as they should. Not only do people see you as a person of substance, my beautiful Unakite crew, but they also see you as magical. The fairy ink cap always gives me this, okay, fairy is in the word. Nice one. But it's more than fairy. It's like this, what is the, like Tinkerbell has this pixie. That's the word. A pixie quality. Now, combined with your substance, that makes you a very interesting character indeed. Because imagine someone stepping into a room who has all this energy, all this substance, and all the heads turn in the room. And then at the same time, you've got this light, effervescent, flowing, magical, dancing pixie dust falling off of you. And people are like, what the heck just came into this room? It's giving extra dimensional being. Like people feel when you walk in, my beautiful Unakite crew, like they're in the presence of, I'll just say it, an alien, okay? An alien. But a cool one. Not that there are any uncool aliens. Don't come for me, guys. But like a very elevated being, a powerful being, whose spiritual punch is packed. Did you guys ever play the Call of Duty Zombies game? This one is reaching way out into the ethers. But let's just go there, because if you're really from another dimension, you'll get it. There's this game called Call of Duty, a collaborative first-person shooter game, and then there's this version of the game called Zombies, like this mode that was released over and over with the Call of Duty series. And in the Zombies edition, which I guess is coming to me through this whole focus that we have on death and transformation right now, there was something that you could do with your weapon called Pack-a-Punch. And you take any old rifle or machine gun or pistol and you pop it into this machine and it turns it into like this super leveled up weapon which could wipe out all the zombies pretty much effortlessly, which could keep you going round after round after round, which is awesome. In fact, it reminds me of this card, the Pack-a-Punch machine, just the colors and the dripping. The whole way that the rounds would fire once you Pack-a-Punched it off, often had this amazing color to it, and it was just my favorite part of the game. Yes, I did play that a lot back in the day. You, thanks for bearing with me there, my beautiful Unakite crew. You are like a Pack-a-Punched human being. So you've had your fair share of deaths and rebirths. No wonder there's a snake represented here. Oh, hey, with mushrooms, right? What kind of mushroom is that? I bet that's in the book. I want to say reishi, but I know nothing. Oh, see? I sure know nothing. It's turkey tail. Ooh, turkey tail, the immune mushroom. A lot of mushrooms are incredible for the immune system, but turkey tail is got all kinds of peer-reviewed research about how it can help kill cancer and reinvigorate the entire global human body, meaning every system. Very comprehensive. So what I'm trying to say is you're reinvigorated, you're Pack-a-Punched, and your identity is very significant to this transformation and rebirth that you're experiencing, especially with the Empress here upright. It's like we're getting a little peek at the reading before we even go into the tarot reading, because your deck is the Tarot of Oneness. So what the Mushroom Hunter's Tarot, though, is popping out to say is there is some kind of What do you feel like is not worth fighting for? What is the key? Spirit, I need you to drop me some major hints for my Unakite crew. And Unakite crew, I need you to drop down your walls for a moment. Keep doing that breathing for me. Because I also sense that you're quite protected to a degree that is making the flow of energy difficult in your life right now. There are so many walls up of protection that it's almost gotten into a hyper-protective state where currency, which means literal abundance of energetic life flow, is having a hard time flowing in and out. That's why I feel this constant urge to breathe for you, because our breath can really reinvigorate that flow of energy. And with the turkey tail being a reinvigorating immune system booster, it could be because you're dealing with a health challenge or a mental health challenge. So let's get some deep breathing in there while we tap in and see what the missing piece is. And we just ask Spirit for some visions about your story. Great loss. Great loss. I see in the third eye a confluence of energies, almost to a chaotic degree, being torn between two objectives. One of the spiritual plane and one of the material plane, which we see represented here with the King Oyster and the Fairy Ink Cap. One represents your spiritual journey and one represents your material journey. And right now you're feeling torn between the two. So what this moment of transformation and rebirth is here to do for you, my beautiful Unakite crew, is unite. Oh my goodness, Braveheart reference. Unite us, unite us. It's when one of the royals is trying to convince the Mel Gibson character to fight with them. Yeah, unite us. Long story short, this death and rebirth moment for you is to turn, and it's so funny because in my beautiful Serpentine Crew, we had the World in reverse, and here we have the Fool in reverse, and the World comes right before the Fool. And again, collective energy, as we've established for this reading, is all about what's about to end and what's about to begin. So you've gotten past the World portion, you've ended an old cycle, and you're trying to start this new one. You're 1 foot ahead of my Serpentine Crew as far as linear progress. The holdup here is not knowing literally what to devote your energy to and what to let go of and what to step toward. It's like, okay, and I said creatives and I see the Empress here. So I think you're thinking, actually I know that you're thinking, how do I bring my highest spiritual creative self into this material world? What is the key for me to unify and unite all the lessons I've learned on 2 different planes, on the 5th dimension and the 3rd dimension, into one beautiful flowing, I'm seeing like a jellyfish. That's my impression of jellyfish. There it goes. Wow, beautiful. How do we unite that into one thing, one organism? Funny thing about a jellyfish is its pure nervous system, which gets back to our breathing talk, because breathing and the nervous system really help to regulate this powerful spiritual energy that you've got going on here, Unakite. And simply grounding your spiritual energy into your body with some breath work, some meditation, some nature exposure is going to help tremendously. But a jellyfish has no brain. Fancy that. Yet they're a living organism, some of whom are immortal. They can literally, oh my goodness, reverse. There it is. Okay, chills. Oh my goodness. I love this. I love you. Just big love fest over here. Okay. You're amazing. Thank you. Your spiritual energy is like hyping up mine. And also your material groundedness is also grounding me. So thank you. You're already uniting us. You're already doing the thing. Reverse. It came at the beginning of the intro. I was like, when is this going to become relevant? I even said that at the beginning of your reading, and here it is. A jellyfish, which if you look at this fairy ink cap card, it looks like jellyfish. Look at that. That's hysterical. I mean, it's charming. It's synchronistic. A jellyfish has the power to reverse, some do, reverse their age back to like infancy. Now, it's not like they're jumping around on the timeline. It's just something they do. They're like, oh, if I'd like to survive in this moment, I'm just going to reverse myself back to being an infant and start my life over. And they do that. They don't have to have power over time. They don't have to manipulate time for everyone. They like manipulate their own timeline. And that's something that you're doing here, Unakite Crew, which is mind-blowing levels of alchemy. You're manipulating your own timeline by stepping out of the limits of the third dimension. And Spirit would like me to tell you that you're not leaving anything behind. And I feel like this shuddering, wailing pulse in my chest, like I want to just break out in cathartic sobs when I say to you that you're not leaving anything behind, because I feel this tremendous fear here, my beautiful Unakite Crew, that you are so terrified of leaving behind so much that you love about this world if you let yourself complete the ascension into the next dimension. Someone write that down. Assistant? Yeah, I'm the assistant. So in ascending to the next level, I'm here to tell you death and rebirth and reverse and this energy of transformation is here to tell you that, my beautiful Unakite Crew, it is okay. You're not going to leave anything behind. You're not going to lose anything. You're not going to be alone, and you're not going to be left behind. And what's recently fallen away or departed from you that has made you potentially feel alone, or like really giving up the spiritual creative path and really just like doubling back down in the third dimension, pause. You don't have to do that. Those things were cleared away to make space for incredibly fulfilling fifth dimensional stuff that you can't imagine. And when it comes to reversing, this concept of reversing and putting yourself backwards, Spirit is asking for you to trust and to bring your innocence back. Your innocence. What a jellyfish does when it reverses back to an infancy stage is it chooses to be young again, literally. And its whole biology shifts to reflect that. Now, jellyfish don't have a brain, so they don't have to worry. I see mighty amounts of worries here. The stress, my beautiful Unakite Crew, that you've felt about trying to, okay, Spider-Man reference, Spider-Man 2 to be specific. When Spider-Man stops, this is the Tobey Maguire collection, just to be sure we're all on the same page here. When Spider-Man is stopping the train, or is that a subway? It's something that looks like a train. He stops it, like Doc Ock. He has this big fight with the dude who's got the legs on him. And Spider-Man / Tobey Maguire / Peter Parker, his whole mask gets ripped off and he's revealing himself, and he's trapped at the very edge of the train, and both of his arms are holding with the webs, are holding the thing from going off the edge and killing all these people. And then his body completely collapses. Spirit is saying that's where you are, my beautiful Unakite Crew, in trying to unite the two sides of the third dimension and the fifth dimension. And you've done such a good job. You've made it to the end of that cycle. You're in your full era, beginning another cycle, which is a beautiful place to be. Now let your body collapse, just like Tobey Maguire / Peter Parker / Spider-Man does. 3 identities, interesting. See, we have 2 identities here. Just like Spider-Man does, falls down, and then what happens? Everyone carries him. Everyone is like honoring him for the sacrifice that he made of uniting these things together. Spirit is saying, trust that you're going to be carried. Trust that you're going to be caught. The key is not for you to produce or create or identify. The key is spirit. So we have two identities here. And then the third player in this game is spirit itself, saying that's the one you've forgotten about. You've got these two, you've got the material you and the spiritual creative you, and you think you got to do it all, but the one that's going to do it is spirit. So you've done your part. You've united these two things together brilliantly. Now it's time for you to collapse onto the crowd. Perhaps not collapse. If you can help yourself, don't get that drained. Let yourself delicately be carried by others now, because you have completed your assignment, beautiful Unakite Crew. You did what was asked of you. Brilliantly so. And with the amount of energy in your aura, the amount of guides that you have around you that are here with me right now, with both of us as we watch this, as we co-create this together, you and I, because it doesn't happen without the two of us, or the 1,000 of us. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. So, another deep breath in to celebrate. And to let it go. Wow. Wow. So, the tarot. We squeezed a lot of juice out of that introduction there. So, and we've got this pre-shuffled, so we don't need to shuffle it again. Let's see what Spirit, what is it that we want to ask here, Spirit? Because we know that my beautiful Unakite Crew can let go, can trust that the two sides are united. But what's something else that my beautiful Unakite Crew can do to step into this new cycle and turn this Fool card upright and get ready to progress in this new cycle of united energies? I feel like very so delicate right now. Like having a light touch seems important. Oop. Six of Wands, upright. Celebrate yourself. Did we say that? We said that. Nine of Wands. Relinquish the anxiety. Self-protect. Right now the seagull like wants to bloop, grab one of those little guys. Justice, 11. Hey, 11, 11. Little reader's a big fan of that. Yeah, know that justice will be done. Oh, the world. Of course. The world, the Fool. It's all coming together. Embodiment of Pentacles. That's your King of Pentacles, upright. And Spirit of Pentacles. Is that your Queen of Pentacles? I've got to check. What is the Spirit? It is, yes, the Queen. Traditionally. Wow. The King and Queen of Pentacles right next to each other. So, did someone say abundance? Did you say abundance, my little Unakite Crew? Because, yeah, you've got it. You've got mail. I think that's an AOL reference. Wow, it's really throwing it back. That's reversing on the timeline once again. Something about that is significant, and I think it's different for every single member of my Unakite Crew. So if, however, reverse resonates with you as a way of returning to what might be considered past energy, but a much more evolved version of that past energy, Think of how the jellyfish does it. Like, it takes all of its wisdom, but then it goes back to infancy, but it's not the infant that it was originally. It's like a new infant. That's kind of just like this cycle, how this whole cycle thing works. Anyway, however that's relevant to you, I'd love to hear it in the comments, because I think it's going to be different for every individual. This, however, is hot fire in the best way. So we've got King and Queen of Pentacles here. Somebody is abundant, like beyond abundant. And something that's going on with the collective right now is a sort of redistribution of abundance. And it's happening not just with money, although yes, but it's also happening with resources and spiritual knowledge and wisdom, energy, like the literal vitality that makes up our human life force. And I see that you're a very potent recipient for that, my beautiful Unakite crew. You're really primed and ready to receive a lot of abundance if you haven't already, both financial and vitality-wise, and youth and insights and wisdom. Spirit's saying to me, you're at the top of the food chain. And that's not meant to be validating a capitalistic system or saying that a food chain or survival-based way of being is superior. It's just saying that if there is a food chain, which presently it seems like there is, you're at the top of it. So let's reimagine this Nine of Wands card and say instead you're not the turtle, you're actually the seagull. And that's a twist, because I don't know if you understood yourself that way before, but the power that is around you and in you right now has got you in the prime position to have whatever you want. With the Six of Wands being the card of success and victory, particularly represented with the paparazzi here, you remind me of the energy of a recent crew in a recent reading. I believe it was my Amethyst crew, in what Spirit wanted you to stop doing, but it's something to do with the sudden onset of wealth and fame. Again, something we're seeing in the collective, particularly amongst a group that has been laying very low for the past decades, maybe even centuries, is suddenly picking up steam and momentum. And I'm referring to the spiritual community of seekers, whom you probably find yourself among, having been drawn to this reading. So, immense power for you here. Seeing yourself as the victor, seeing yourself as royalty, as the king, queen, understanding that we are the world, we are the children, we all are, and you're not alone in this. The world is yours to have and to hold. Also, if you're getting married, let us know. Anything that's been removed from you is going to be replaced. Because with that marriage card, I'm also realizing that a couple of people listening have just been divorced or lost relationships. With justice, we can also see that here. But the scales will be rebalanced. So anything that's been removed from you is going to be replaced, and in abundance. We see that here represented by the masculine and feminine yin and yang qualities of the pentacle suit, which literally means you are primed for so much abundance. So recognize yourself as the apex predator. That is a reference to the film Chronicle. But use your power for good, as only you know how. I know that you do. Again, we see here with the Equalizer, another film reference. I think that was about like a hitman. You don't have to reveal that in the comments section if that's the kind of work you do, but I would be curious about who ended up in this crew, because whatever your role, even if you don't recognize it as such, it's got all kinds of a power associated with it. Your highest self. In embodying your highest self, and I'm also hearing marrying your shadow and light aspects together, you have quite literally united the third dimension and the fifth dimension. You are bringing in this new reality. You have shifted from victim to victor. You are being seen, honored, and recompensated or compensated for anything that's been taken from you. You are free of flight to go where you choose. This new cycle is a cycle of ultimate power for you. Ultimate, how silly. We only become more powerful with every cycle, but this is going to feel like ultimate power because you're being put back into this innocent, student-like, trusting, almost naive state of mind is what Spirit's asking you to step into. but do it knowing that you are this all-powerful being at the same time. So approach life like your brand new baby with teeth. Yeah, that's amazing. So let's say a prayer for you, my beautiful Unakite crew, and let's tie it all up with a ribbon and bow, offer you your gift, and send you on your way to fly. Because we got flying and we got flying, and I don't know if you're flying across the country or where you're flying to. Even if it's flying to another dimension, maybe you've been hanging out with some other beings, you know what I'm saying? So wherever it is you go, thank you for going there, and thank you for being you, and thank you for doing all of this. The warriors, man. It just gives me hope, happiness, and so much pride. Yeah, to see this stuff is just whew. So, prayer for our beautiful Unakite crew. Spirit, it is I, the little reader, and it is my Unakite crew. And we're here together with an abundance of spirit guides and energies, filling this space so powerfully. Many witnesses excited to ask for your blessing on our Unakite crew. That you take this beautiful soul who is so worthy of love above all else, and you fill them with this innocent hope and naivete again, this student perspective to see things with new eyes, to understand that they've been put back to the beginning of a cycle, but with so much power and strength that they've never possessed before. And for anyone who is feeling like they've regressed, please remind them there's no such thing as regression in this universe, and that the quote-unquote reversal is simply having the opportunity to seize a reward where you may have missed that opportunity before. It's only ever a gift. Surround my Unakite crew with constant reminders of their power, constant opportunities to validate themselves and look in the mirror and send love to themselves, constant opportunities to do things they've never done, get out of their comfort zone, to take trips and travel and fly and move and go to places that are unfamiliar and unknown with the knowledge that they bring potent light, potent balanced energy, and potent power. And finally, let them step into all of that abundance that is just circulating around them, whether it be millions of cash dollars or more, or the success, the, publishing, the discovery, maybe the quiet life. For some, abundance is that cabin in the woods. Whatever it means to them, material or spiritual, which we know are actually two parts of the same whole. Fill them with it. Let them be more abundant than they've ever been before. And just let them know that above all else, they are so worthy of love. Let them be followed around and surrounded by unconditional love forever. Thank you so much, Spirit, for being wonderful you and giving us this wonderful experience. Amen, if you're into that sort of closing. And if not, a woman. And that's it, my beautiful Unakite crew. It's been such an honor to read for you, to be part of your story, to co-create this experience with you. It gives me, joy is just a very small version of a word that does not encapsulate the feeling. If you've enjoyed this reading, please give it a like. If you want a key to the Little Reader's house where you can come in anytime, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want me to ring your doorbell every time there's a new reading. Bing, bing, it's a new reading. And finally, comments. If you can share your story, I know maybe like the paparazzi are going to find you, so I understand if you kind of need to lay low. But if you can share your story and the amazing things you're doing, please do it. And above all, know that you are so worthy of love above all else. Until we meet again, I'm sending you all the love I got. Bye for now. Hello, my beautiful rose quartz crew, and welcome to your reading from death/rebirth/transformation, and throwing in that fun little word reverse, which came up in the intro, got discovered in my beautiful Unakite crew as the relevance there was just out of control. But whatever happens here, I cannot wait to see, because our crews thus far have had me like, how have they had me? Let's just say if I could levitate, and I'd never tell if I could, I would have been levitating. I might even be levitating right now. So, beautiful rose quartz crew, we know that you've chosen a stone that is associated with love, with unconditional love, with the heart chakra, with connection and camaraderie, teamwork, femininity, and yin. So you've also then chosen one of the most powerful death cards I've ever seen, labeled as Transformation from the Osho Zen Tarot. And it's got in it pretty much every symbolism you can imagine for transformation. We've got yin yang, we've got lotus, we've got snake, broken chain, sword, phoenix, the fiery crown. It's high-powered stuff. So I'm going to set your card right over here, and we're going to jump directly into what I call the diagnostic section of today's reading, which involves busting out some oracle and tarot to see where you are and what the spirit of death and transformation is teaching you right now. And then we'll see where we go using the Osho Zen Tarot. Let's do it. So let's start out with some pre-shuffled pre-shuffled mushroom spirit oracle. And then we go into the metaphysical cannabis oracle. Also pre-shuffled, but sometimes you gotta shuffle again. Then we've got the Witch's Beginner Tarot. Ooh, interesting. All of a sudden, multiple cards are calling. Who am I to refuse the call? I'm just a little reader. So we must answer the call. Hello? Oh, Spirit, it's you? Oh, you want me to tell them that they're worthy of love above all else? Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. You like how I did that? Just reminding you, my beautiful rose quartz crew, that above all, you are so very worthy of love, more and not less, forever and ever, into infinity. Glad we got that really clear. So let's continue on with, this card is already coming off the deck. Anybody else want to come from, just you, from the Mushroom Hunters Tarot. So now with this eclectic and delicious spread, we're going to see what in the world is going on with you, my beautiful rose quartz crew. Get cozy, get comfy, grab your favorite blanket, even though here in the Northern Hemisphere it is the middle of one of the hottest summers ever. But you could be catching this in the middle of one of the coldest winters ever. So, blanket recommended. The Bleeding Tooth, Stagnation, number 34. The Shaggy Ink Cap, Growth Destruction Cycle. Can somebody say death card in an oracle variation? Yeah, that's what this is. So totally a reimagining of the death card, Growth Destruction Cycle, Shaggy Ink Cap. And I'm being moved to do something that I so did not prepare for, which makes me think that you're going through something you may not have prepared for or expected, my beautiful rose quartz crew. But I am feeling the need to bust out the book because these are two very interesting mushrooms, and that's pretty much all I got. So let's bust out the book. Everyone hold on to your pants or skirts or, whatever. Or maybe, I don't know, you're kicking it like au natural. I support it. Let's pop open the book. Look at the cover there. Gorge. And see about the bleeding tooth and the shaggy ink cap. 34. And if you hear somebody outside my window doing something mechanical, send them some love. Bleeding tooth, stagnation. It's edible and medicinal. However, not generally recommended for consumption due to its bitter taste. Ooh, and stagnation is bitter indeed, my beautiful rose quartz crew. Believe me, you're not alone on that. Although it looks like something that could be poisonous, the bleeding tooth fungus is completely safe to eat. I don't know, would you eat that? I'm not so sure. The pale flesh cap exudes a deep red liquid that looks like blood and is thought to be a type of sap due to an excess of water. Underneath, it is covered with small spikes which produce spores. We totally see that here in this lovely artistic rendering. When it matures, it turns into a dull brown mushroom. Interesting. Used to create a beige dye, H. pecki is also being researched for its possible medicinal qualities. It tends to be found in old coniferous forests that don't suffer from pollution, and it has a mycorrhizal. Somebody put the phonetic pronunciation of that down there. Mycorrhizal relationship with the trees, meaning it breaks down nitrogen and phosphorus and passes on all the extra nutrients it doesn't need to its tree host. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. So it's like really symbiotic. Medicinally, this mushroom contains atromentin, known to be an anticoagulant that inhibits blood clotting. Interesting because it looks like blood on the mushroom. Mushrooms get me so excited, my rose quartz crew. Thank you for bearing with me as I nerd out over this. Also, the flesh contains thaliphoric acid, which may be useful for treating Alzheimer's. So does the red sap look like blood to you, or possibly the plaque formation within the brain of an Alzheimer's patient? Whoa, that's interesting. Two fairly prominent doctrine of signatures here. Don't you reckon? Whoa, that is wild. Okay, now let's do the shaggy ink cap. I get so excited about this. 21. Growth destruction cycle. Coprinus comatus. Edible. When young, white, and fresh. Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere, but we'll just let somebody else make it. The shaggy ink cap can be found in grasslands and open woodlands and has various stages of growth. Initially, it begins as a white egg shape, growing into a long bell. The pale brown area at the top breaks into large scales, and in dry weather, the whole cap will do this. We can see that for sure. It actually kind of looks like a mountaintop to me in this artistic rendering. I hope the camera's focusing. I hope. The gills start off white and turn to pink and then black. C. comatus will then deliquesce, that is, liquefy or self-decompose, from the bottom outside edge and work its way upwards. Within a few hours, just a stem and small disc will remain. Whoa! The stem is hollow and the stem ring will eventually become movable, often falling to the ground. The shaggy ink cap is known as a bioaccumulator of heavy metals, meaning it can clean up soil and restore its pH by drawing the heavy metals up into its fruiting body. What in the mushroom? Okay, so both of these little dudettes are epic because they both seem to have a symbiotic effect on their environment. To draw heavy metals out of the earth and accumulate toxins, which are actually somehow beneficial to this organism, it's like the vulture spirit, taking up death and toxicity and transmuting it into something that produces vitality. It also even destroys itself, like does its own deterioration. Very efficient creature. And then this organism here, to pass its own excess nutrients onto its host. My goodness, my beautiful rose quartz crew, if you've been resonating with the vulture energy spirit, or you've been feeling like a healer for others, I can see why. And if you're effortlessly going through your life, I mean, like a little boat, going down the stream, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. I don't know how merrily you're feeling about it all, but I know that you're doing a great service for humankind. I know that. And it's paying off, because with the transformation card, the death spirit is saying what you're doing, even if you feel like you're stagnating personally, is having this incredible symbiotic effect on your planet. And that's amazing. I feel like we could close the reading up here, but we're not even close. So let's keep going. Oran, joy and light. This is the sun card equivalent in this deck. Look at that. We've got the death card equivalent here and the sun card equivalent here. Amazing. Is this focusing? I'm feeling like I have questions about the way, yeah, the camera's focusing. There we go. Look at this beautiful radiant being with the flag on a unicorn with the sun in the background and this rainbow of color. Here I feel like we're lacking a little bit of color, aside from the bleeding tooth. Let's get things back in focus where they belong. But here we have all the color radiating back in. Amazing. And interesting. Omo Aloran, which is sing. This is a recommendation from this deck to use your voice and create music as an alchemical transmutation. In other words, singing for healing, singing for joy, singing for celebration. Amazing. Let's see what these cards have to offer. The Wheel of Fortune, upright. The Page of Wands in reverse. The Knight of Cups, upright. Creative expression and singing, wouldn't you know it? And the Five of Cups in reverse. Wow. So definitely a healing, an emotional healing situation going on here. We've got fire, we've got water. I always like to take that back to Ayurveda, which is an Indian medicine tradition, to look at the categorization of the dosha, which is a sort of, there's like 3 categories that you can be: your body composition and your spirit. And those are called doshas. And within the Pitta dosha, which yours truly happens to fall into more often than not, it's water and fire in equal measure that create this very distinct sort of body composition, this distinct sort of personality, this distinct sort of soul. And I feel it here with the fire and the water in equal measure. One upright of each card, one in reverse of each card. It's very balanced, which is perhaps surprising considering the difference between fire and water, but not so surprising to me, my beautiful rose quartz crew, because even you chose this double terminated, balanced, if I've ever seen one, representation as a talisman to reflect your energy. So you have developed and are developing within this moment in time balance within yourself. It's beautiful. We've got the Six of Pentacles. I believe that circle is Pentacles. And the Death card in reverse. I was wondering what would come up here. It's so funny. We're hearing from the Death spirit. Every single crew has either gotten the World, which is the end of a cycle, the Fool, which is the beginning of a cycle, and now you, Death. Spirit is just so artistic. I love that about you, Spirit. So let's just confirm that that's a pentacle before we go any further. I'd put money on it, but you never want to throw money away, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I should have, because pentacles, beautiful. So the Six of Pentacles, typically a time of generosity, seeds well sown, giving and gifting. And with the Death card, I see this as a representation of this is where you are in your process, which is about to come to terms with releasing something major and stepping into the new. Now, we see with the Wheel of Fortune upright, a turn of good luck. Something feels destined or fated, but you may have tried to take a step toward it on your own, only to receive what we might call a cosmic slap. When I say we, I mean me. I've never heard anyone else call it that before, but that doesn't mean that we can't. So then you metamorphosized this rejection or this disappointment or this loss into a sort of muse. And we see that with the singing card. If you're a singer, by the way, please shamelessly promote yourself in the comments. Drop your channel, drop your Apple Music, you know. I know most people are on Spotify, but strangely, I'm on Apple Music. Drop it all down below. We'd love to see it here in the community. You've turned this seemingly destined situation that hasn't fully reached its climax, if you will, much less the denouement. We're still kind of like the roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm, Ghost Rider, going up to that peak, or maybe Accelerator if you're familiar with this, or any roller coaster that has a peak. We're still on our way up to the peak. But from where you stand, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew, you thought something was destiny. It kind of got shot down when you took a step toward it, and you were like, whoa, well then let's make the best of this situation. Let's write a song about it. Let's write a book about it. Let's write a blog about it. Let's post onto social media. Let's keep exploring readings. Let's not stop getting into our creativity. And that has helped you to move forward, to heal. You have transmuted your own disappointment by being the sun. And here again, we see the rays of the sun coming out of this guitar. By using your expression, your creativity, and your innate gifts. Now, if you're not an innate creative, meaning you don't do the typical creative things, I think of every outlet as creative. You could be grading papers as a teacher and do it creatively. You could be an accountant and you could be pouring your passion into all that money counting and doing it creatively. What I mean is you transmuted this by being yourself, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. And for that, Spirit is like, absolutely, that's our kid. Absolutely. Rose Quartz crew is a healer and a generous soul who has learned to balance and learned to, oh my goodness, to claim your own healing. I don't know why that makes me want to bawl like a baby. Now I've got like 2 notes off to the side about why I need to go cry later, and I have every intention of doing that, and this is one of them. I want to bawl like a baby because the empowerment that comes, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew, from choosing to create your own opportunities for healing and powerfully transmute your disappointments. It's such a paradigm shift. It's such a dimensional shift. It's such an empowering place to be that I'm feeling by proxy, just by being in your energy, like I could almost learn to do that myself just by being near you. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful and so very worthy of love. And I think you know that. And I think you know how to give that to yourself and turn pain into bliss. Now, bliss doesn't mean pleasure. You're not necessarily turning pain into feel-good feelings, but you're taking the pain and you're taking the cards that you've been dealt and the rejections and the stops and the waits and the pauses and the stagnation. And you're saying, oh, when I get a cosmic slap, I turn it into the rhythm of my beat. I turn the slap into a clap. And then I start dancing and drumming and it becomes the foundation for my next version. Spirit's like, yeah, they've got this all figured out. They don't need you, little reader, but that's okay. They want me. So again, feel like we could close the reading here, but I've promised you stuff. So we're going to go forth and get that stuff. We're going to pull out your tarot from Osho. And we're going to see, what are we going to see? Because for an individual who's learned how to make lemons out of lemonade. What more is there for them to learn? What more is there for them to know, Spirit? What does death want to tell them? Death and rebirth. I feel like, okay, I'm not going to make another Oppenheimer reference, although I have been doing that a lot lately. The whole death, I'm death, destroyer of worlds. But it's actually really relevant here, so I guess I am. You, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew, whether consciously or unconsciously, but I sense that it's quite conscious, have figured out how to, when something gets taken from you, or what others would say, you got something taken away from you, or got pain put on you, you've learned how to transmute it, and you're like, I am death. I am death medicine. Six of Pentacles is all about generosity. You've learned how to give from your overflow because you make sure that you're overflowing. Wow. Let's just have a moment of silence to honor the work you've done. Wow. Respect. Okay, so Spirit, what could you possibly have to say to beautiful Rose Quartz crew about what they need to know from death and transformation, where they are right here and now? Let's see. Oops. Oh, 2. Okay, 2 more are coming in, guys. Ooh. Let's make room. Six of Wands, success. Yeah. 5 of Pentacles, the outsider. Yeah, it's a lonely road. I know. I know it is. The Emperor? The Emperor. We're gonna double check, but I think that's the Emperor. Politics. 7 of Swords. Turning in and tuning in. 4 of Cups. Past lives. This is, how many times have I come across this? The Moon. The Moon? We'll double check that one too. And then finally, beyond illusion. Possibly judgment, traditionally speaking. I believe number 20 is judgment. I always can rely on my beautiful, informed souls to let me know in the comments, because something about learning by numbers does not a happy little reader make. So let's double check that this is the Rebel. that this is the Emperor, and double check that this is the Moon. And then we dive. Yes, it sure is. So this is the Emperor, traditionally speaking. And then past lives couldn't ever hold me down. That is a reference to a song. Past lives. Ooh. Silence. Yes, that's the Star. So the Tower, the Star, the Moon, and the Sun. Yes, that is in fact the Moon. Thank you so much for bearing with me there, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. So first things first, and Spirit prioritized it by putting it to be the first card that I read. Success is assured for you. Oh, look. And here we have the Sun. Joy and light. So you know how to make your own joy and light. You know how to transmute. You know how to make the best. But Spirit's saying it's going to be reflecting in your outside world quite a bit more as a result of the end of this cycle, the coming of a close of this cycle that you're in. And this feeling of being the outsider is going to transform into this feeling of being the empowered leader. So where you might have felt like you were on the outside, picking up the pieces, doing the spiritual healing work on your own for so long, transmuting your own pain, looking at your own shadows, the silent warrior, you're going to become the leader. Spirit has selected you because you know how to turn away from this third dimensional norm of putting on a happy face and then betraying people behind their back, masking pain. A lot of ego in this card here. Now, I love the ego, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. Ego is one of my favorite things. I find my ego to be cute and silly at its worst, adorable at its best. I think you may feel similarly. But in this third dimensional reality, it has felt for a long time to you like a lot of folks aren't real. And because of your gift to turn inward, to be with yourself, to commune with your ancestors and spirit guides, to do your spiritual path, to be your spiritual self, Spirit is recognizing you now as a leader and placing you in a leadership position. You're going to say goodbye to this outsider role. And you're skipping over this need to be political and play games to try to get power. By simply continuing to do what you've done, which is transmute dark into light again and again by turning in, loving on yourself, being kind to yourself, loving the parts of you that are wounded, loving the ego, which many folks have an interesting relationship with their ego. They don't differentiate it from themselves. But then they also don't really know how to navigate it necessarily either. This is something I can see you've put great effort into turning poison into medicine, turning venom into nectar. And as a result, we have here with this past lives card an integration, many generational curses broken, many ancestral traumas healed. You're at this point where you are beyond illusion. And the choices you make now are divinely inspired by spirit. They are coming from a place inside, not from an outside perspective. You no longer look for your cues about what to do next from the world outside of you. You look for your cues about what to do next from your insides. That's what's put you on the outside for a while, for this entire cycle that we're referring to here. And this cycle ends now. It ends with this integration. And you step out of that as the leader, as the rebel. Maybe you've even been called a rebel before, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. I even want to say maybe you've been told you're sassy. Maybe you've been told, oops, I'm going to say, see, here's the thing. I normally let a lot of expletives drop in the waking world, but we're trying to keep it classy for the kids who I recently discovered are tuning in to this little reader's house. So maybe you've been called a smart boop, rhymes with grass. Yeah, maybe you also kind of like the naughty words too. Anyway, all in all, if you felt like an outsider and you felt like a rebel, it's precisely those qualities which are turning you into the leader of your next phase. Not just the leader of your own life either, the leader of a cause, the leader of others, an inspiration, an exhorter. Because by all this turning in you're doing, you're now lighting the way for other people to tune in to you and then turn in to themselves. And I can't help but notice when I say tune, music may play a large role in that. Music. Again, link us to your stuff, please. So for you, what you need to know now, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew, is that you're at the end of the isolation. And the spirit of death and transformation wants you to know that what comes next is your success assured, your leadership. Look at the similar colors here also. Beautiful, vibrant life. Vibrant life is what comes for you now. So let's say your prayer, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. Get cozy, get comf, and let's do this. Beautiful divine orchestrating forces that run all of the dimensions and all of the spirits and all of the universes and the multiverses and the things that our little minds can't even comprehend, but that we feel in our hearts when we turn in. I ask you now for an enormous blessing for my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. A constant reminder, first and foremost, that they are never alone, and that above all, they are so worthy and deserving of more love, always more, every part of them. And now I ask that as they step forward with that knowledge and with that trust in themselves, they step into the leader position that they have been destined for since the moment that they chose this incarnation here on earth. And in this leadership position, may they be guarded both on their right hand and their left hand with trustworthy people who can't help but be attracted to the radiant, loving light that they shimmer and shine with. And in addition to having these folks who want to support and empower them, may their third eye be awakened to discern what steps come next, straight from their heart, as they have been drawing on this wisdom for so long. And may they be seen by everyone who looks upon them as an individual who is trustworthy to lead them into the new wave, wherever that is that we're going. My beautiful Rose Quartz crew, may you also be constantly surrounded by peace and protection, and that any arrows that ever come your way for any reason, as soon as they hit the air, are transmuted into beautiful flowers with the most aromatic scent that instead bless you with more peace and more joy. May your angels and guides and ancestors speak to you as clearly as ever, guiding your brave, courageous path. And may you reap bliss and bliss and bliss for all the generosity of spirit that you have given to so many. May it be multiplied infinitely to you. And may your footsteps, wherever you lead us, be blessed. You can consider me your first follower if you don't already have a huge crowd, because it's an honor to be led by you. So Spirit, that is what I ask for my beautiful Rose Quartz crew. In the name of love, may it be so. All right, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew, we've done it. You and I, we've co-created a reading. If you liked it, please leave it with a like. If you would like a key to the little reader's house, that's my house. Please subscribe so you can come back anytime. Hit the notification bell if you want me to ring your doorbell when a new reading has been released. And if you can comment anything about you down below so that our community can know and love and see and validate you, then please do so. And until we meet again, my beautiful Rose Quartz crew, I'm sending you all the love I've got. May your every moment be a radiant reflection of your beauty and your greatness and your perfection. That was not intended to rhyme, but here we are. Until we meet again, beautiful Rose Quartz crew, bye for now.